Okay, today's project is converting the art case. In this case, it's art case that you pick up from Hobby Lobby. Again, you don't have to pay 50 bucks for this art case. Generally, you can get an online coupon for 40% off on any one item. Plus, they have a lot of sales on this particular product every month or so that's 50% off the art case. And we're going to convert it into an art case, in this case, that carries my Marvel Champions cards. I'm going to show you my process of converting it and making it so you can transport your cards in a safe fashion and organize them. Again, I'll go over the materials needed, and good project and good way to use your or store your cards. Okay, so I'm out in the garage, and now I'm going to go over some materials you're going to need to do this project. A couple different ways you can do it, but I'll just go over the highlights. First of all, obviously you're going to need, in this case, I use a broken token insert. This is the one that's for horizontal card storage. You just order this online from Broken Token. That's the one I used in the previous case. And again, get this, depending on shipping and stuff, around $30 online, Broken Token. The next thing you're going to need, of course, not necessarily in order of usage, this is furniture sliders that you put on the bottom of furniture, obviously. And again, just a pack of 4. In this case, it has 6 in it, so you're going to have a couple extra. But again, I put this on the bottom of the case for easy placement on tables so it doesn't scratch tables, because I never store the cards in a vertical fashion. I just store them in a horizontal fashion. You're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver. Okay, and again, now this is your choice how much prep work you want to do on the case. But you can see right now the case has the handle attached with Phillips screws. I am going to remove this. To be fair, I didn't do it on the last case, but it came out a little messy, so I'm going to remove this. I am going to tape over on this. I'm not going to remove this piece. I am, however, going to remove this which holds the strap. And again, that's what a Phillips head will do. And I'm going to fill those in with wood putty. So if you want to do this part of the process, it's up to you. You don't have to do it, but I'm going to fill those holes in with wood putty because I'm not going to use that strap, because again, I'm not going to carry my cards that way. And the back here, I'm going to just use, again, painter's tape to cover those, and then just paint over it. So again, here's painter's tape. That's another material I would recommend. Again, I'm just going to put those on those. And of course, I will show that before I actually paint it. Now, a couple different ways you can apply a coating on it. First of all, on the previous one that I showed you earlier, I used a Polyshade and a product from Minwax that has both a stain and a polyurethane in it. So you can just paint it in one step using, of course, some different brushes here. This time around, what I decided to do is, because I don't want to use black again, and I just have some brown here, I'm going to go ahead and paint. After I prep, obviously, I'm going to paint the case with some purple. And again, it's up to you, but I may, after I paint it initially with the purple, I may sand it down a little bit just to give it a little texture, a little roughness. And then after I do that procedure, so again, you may or may not want to use sandpaper, then I'm going to put a protective coat. Now notice this is water-based. This is a clear gloss. Why you want to use this is because it won't yellow. Okay? You want to use something that, again, you don't have to have a gloss, but I would definitely use clear and water-based, because then it won't yellow the case, unless you want that desire for some reason. Lastly, I don't have it here, but obviously what I did to cover the previous case was I cut up the packaging of the Marvel Champions in that case to put, basically sticker the case with it. Obviously that won't be done in this video, but you can see how easily it would be just to cut and then glue it on. So again, you need a screwdriver, you need type of paint, painter's tape to cover it before you paint, some polyurethane, again, to coat it, and then again, we're going to put some furniture sliders on, and of course, inside the case, I'll show you the process of putting this together and putting it inside the case. Okay? Alrighty, we'll get going. Okay, I'm back inside now. I'm just going to go over a couple things on this. Again, what I'm going to do is remove this handle using this size Phillips head screwdriver, and I'm going to use this tape here to go ahead and cover a lot of the areas that I'm not going to obviously paint, but I'm going to leave them on. The other thing I'm going to do, I mentioned earlier, wood putty. What I'm going to do is, I just happen to have some sawdust laying around. I'm just going to mix that with some wood glue and fill in those holes. And I'll show you the process. That's real simple to do. While I've got this here, I'm going to show you the inside before we do anything to it. So basically, you can see it has this one section up here, which on the other one I took out, but I'm going to leave here. You can put your manuals, etc., any papers up here, instruction booklets. And then down here, what I've done, or this is what comes with it. You can obviously, I hate to waste wood, but you can use this as some type of storage thing for other components. You can use this for, even in this box, to store components if you wanted to. But what I'm going to do is take this out, remove it, and then I'm also going to remove these two things. But just to show you, this is a divider I made for Marvel Champions, the claw obviously, and you can see that it is going to overlap the lip just by a little bit there. But if you shut it, it's not going to get pinched. So I'll just do it and show you. So, oops, it fell, but no big deal. So again, I'm going to remove these pieces of wood. That's how hard that is. And then I'll be sticking the broken token insert. I did not polyurethane or paint the inside of this, nor did I paint or polyurethane the broken token insert. You might want to do that. No big deal one way or the other. Just another step you might want to do. All right, so the next step I'm going to do right now is go ahead and remove these, and then prep the case for painting. Okay, so I went ahead and removed the handle, and then I put tape on the latches here, and then on the side here I removed the strap holder, and I'm right now in the process of filling in the holes with a little mixture of wood glue, water, and sawdust. Then I'm going to fill those in, and then what I'm going to do is, once that dries, I'm going to go ahead and sand it with some 150 grit sandpaper to try and make it smooth as possible right there. And then we'll just paint over it and should not even know it was there. Obviously, the last thing I taped over here was the hinges here in the back. So again, you can see how it goes, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I put on one coat of this. Just, again, whenever you're painting with any spray paint, use some light coats, a couple light coats rather than one thick coat. And again, you can see here, really depends on what the kind of texture you want, what a feel you want. But I think I'm going to paint it pretty solid, and then I'm going to sand it down a little bit. I want some of the grain to show through. Obviously, it's pretty much dry already after that first coat, but that's a real light coat. Whenever you spray paint, you want to do it in a well-ventilated area. That's why I'm in my garage. But again, we got one coat in, so what I'm going to do is spray it a couple more times and go from there. And then we'll see how it comes out. Okay, I have let the case that I painted dry overnight, so it's obviously dry to the touch. I'm going to go ahead, I'm not going to sand it at all. You could do that option to give a little bit more of the grain out if you want, but you can see, I'm not sure if you can see, but you should be able to see that there's some grain showing through here. So right now I'm just going to, you don't need to do this step, because realistically, you're not going to be needing to protect it this much, but I like to put a little bit extra coat on there for a couple different reasons. But mainly I'm going to use again, water-based clear acrylic, polyacrylic. Again, that's gloss. You might want to go with a matte finish. Again, that's a little bit more dull. But again, I'm going to paint this. I'm probably just going to put one coat on this. One thing I will notice, you can see here, hopefully you can see, I filled those in. I didn't do a great job sanding, but realistically, all I'm going to do is put stickers over that eventually anyway. But just so you know, not my best work. But again, just have fun. So the next step after I polyurethane this is I'm then going to build the broken token insert, and I'll walk you through that real quickly. And then you can just decorate it how you want it. Okay, so I put 2 coats and given it a day to dry. On this polyurethane, by the way, what I recommend, it says not to shake and you're going to have it milky like this, but I would shake it if you haven't used it in a while, and then maybe wait a half hour and then open it up, and you'll get a milky consistency, a little bit better than this one. And then again, just apply thin coats. Thin coats, again, I just used 2 coats, give it a little bit of protection. So next up, I'm going to reattach the handle. I won't show you that, but just using a screwdriver. And then what I'm going to do is put on some furniture sliders on the bottom. And then what I'm going to do is put this broken token insert in this case. And again, what I'll do is I'll record that in a time-lapse thing to make it real quick, and then I'll go over any issues I had putting this together. All right, that's it for now. Okay, so that was a little bit more work than I thought it should have been. All right, short answer is don't do what I did. I would go ahead, dry fit it first to see if this way, I don't know if that's called width or depth, but make sure it's not long enough. Now they tell you in the instructions, which I kind of read, but I didn't have this problem when I did this before, so that's why I didn't do it initially. But I would recommend clipping off this little extra wood on each of the end pieces so that you don't have to do what I did, which was go in afterwards and clip it with the X-Acto, in this case scissors. So I would trim them first. So do a dry fit. You just need to put in one piece, one of these length pieces and to see if it'll fit, then clip it accordingly, and that'll eliminate the problem that I had there with having to pound it down so much. Okay. The other thing that happened was because I pounded it with the mallet, it broke this thing. So what I did was I went ahead and just glued in one of these dividers in there so that that'll hold it in place. Now my problem over here is that I didn't glue it because I didn't know what was going on. So what I'm going to recommend there is go ahead and glue one of these pieces in, and that'll firm it up so you don't have to worry about it. Right now I'm just going to test fit it for some Marble Champion cards, and then we should be good to go here. So what I'm going to do is just take a stack. Again, these are dividers that I made. I'll put a link on how I make these dividers, but I just printed this off of the BGG website, and of course they fit the cards. So you can see this will work real well. And then the only other question is obviously regarding what's in here when you get the case, if you want to remove this or not. Okay, this right here, that is. I don't think it'll be an issue, but you can see it shuts. I never use this handle to carry it with. I always carry it by its base, and again I have those furniture sliders underneath to stack it. But you can see this did not affect that. So you can put your rule books in here, what other accoutrement you need up there. Excuse me, I'll show it so you can see clearly. Put it up in here, and then you don't have to worry about storage of those things. And again, you can see it clips in nicely, and then it doesn't affect that. Alright, so let's go ahead and take that out. Lastly, let's go ahead and take these out. Get some Hawkeye. Good card here, by the way. Lastly, what I'm going to do here is my little labeling. Now, obviously, you can skip this step, but I'll cut out, let's say here as an example, I will cut out Wasp. Again, all this is just the labeling that came with the packaging for, in this case, the Wasp Hero Pack and the Quicksilver Hero Pack. And again, I'll cut these out, and then I'll just use either a little bit of wood glue, or I'll use just some Elmer's, glue stick. And again, glue them on. Now, if you want, after you put all these on, and again, I do it on an ongoing basis when I get a new pack, I'll just glue it on like that. But after the fact, if your thing's all covered up, then I would, maybe put a polyurethane coat over that if you want. But again, that's not mandatory by any stretch of imagination. And on the sides here, I usually cut out some of the villains, and I'll stick them over here on the sides. And again, when you look at the other case, that's what I did. I'll show you that real quick. And here's the other case. And again, you can see on the sides here, I put Marble Champions. I've cut out, in this case, that's, I believe, who's that, Pile Driver or Loki? One of the characters. Here's Loki right here. So again, I use those little stickers, or little things. And you can see, this is, again, you don't have to worry about damaging anything underneath it. These are some smaller ones. I recommend, if you can see these real quickly, there you go. See the furniture movers right there? There's the smaller ones. I use a little bit larger ones on this new case. So there you go. So that's how I use my Hobby Lobby case. And again, you can label it anything you want, whether it's Dominion cards or whatever that you may have. But again, that's how I use my Hobby Lobby case. And again, hope you liked the video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, just post them on the video, and I will hopefully answer them. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.